will be the first to make his way into the ring.
Who would have thought 4 years ago you were ever going to see George Foreman walking down the aisle to fight the undisputed champ?
This crowd will erupt. George said, I may be old, I may be fat, but he said, here I is.
Well, he doesn't look old and he doesn't act it, and he sure doesn't look real fat to me when I saw him on those scales. He looks big and scary.
Entire crowd is on its feet, trying to get a glimpse of George. He has come down the hallway. He is about to enter this arena, and you will hear it erupt the moment he does. Second oldest, second heaviest to challenge. And he has now entered the Atlantic City Convention Center. His record overall, the only two losses to Muhammad Ali and Jimmy Young. He said he had a religious experience after the loss to Young. Others called it heat frustration in Puerto Rico in 1977.
Jimmy Young not much bigger than Evander Holyfield is right now. So it has been proven that a smaller man can beat somebody like George Foreman.
All along, Joe, he had predicted that he would knock out Evander Holyfield in 2, and now he's hedged a bit, saying, well, maybe Holyfield will be running from me a bit.
Well, that's quite possible. I don't know if I'd call it running from George. I think he's going to try to outbox George. Sidestep, slip, move. He might end up running from him, but his game plan isn't to be.
People have asked all along, is this a fight or farce? And right now, your clear-cut answer is?
Well, I can guarantee you that when Evander Holyfield's walking on this aisle, gets into this ring, he knows he's in for a fight.
Let's talk about the ring for a quick moment. 20 by 20, and you described it to me earlier off camera as being a fast ring. What do you mean by that?
It certainly is. You know, a lot of rings from state to state vary. Some rings are a little bit softer. Your feet sink in them a little bit more, slows you down a little bit more. This would favor Evander Holyfield.
And here comes the champion with all of his belts, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, who has really taken a back seat and a quiet side seat to George Foreman. Holyfield undefeated as a heavyweight, undefeated as a professional boxer. And I think he's handled the fact that despite the fact he's the champion, he's been in the shadow of Foreman. He's handled it quite well.
Well, George Foreman is such a great personality. At any given time during the day or evening, he'd walk into the press room and say, here I am. Anybody want an interview? He's so outgoing, so funny, and so personable. He has taken a backseat to George Foreman, Evander has. But he's a quiet type, and he doesn't make any bones about it. He likes being that way.
You see his knockout percentage. Expression very somber and very typical of Evander Holyfield.
Almost smirking as he coming in, as if to say this is not going to be too much trouble for me tonight. Well, he should look confident. He's the undisputed champ of the world right now, Len.
And Joe, at the moment, the WBC has yet to sanction this fight. It is sanctioned WBA and IBF. It's still tied up in an arbitration. But as far as the people feel, he's the undisputed champion.
No doubt about it. They've tried to take the WBC title from Evander Holyfield and failed. As a matter of fact, Judge Amos Saunders put a restraining order to stop them from taking it from him. So in the meantime, he still has it.
And here's Evander Holyfield. 25-0. 21 by knockout. Joe, nobody has ever been able to dictate a pace to George Foreman. Holyfield says he has to and will.
Well, on his comeback, they haven't been able to, actually. The past 24 fights. Evander says he's going to do what he wants to do in there, and that's maneuver George around the ring and outbox him.
And he wants George to punch as often as he can get him to do it and get himself tired of doing that along the way. George Foreman just ran over and playfully tapped Evander Holyfield, so George is still having a good time. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. The 14-year age difference. Height fairly similar. The 49 pounds of weight. Foreman a pro for 21 years. Evander Holyfield for just 6.
And here we have the CompuBox punch stats. This is averages over the last 3 fights. Punches per round. Holyfield throws 47 to Foreman's 45. Lands 28 to Foreman's 24. And the connect percentage is 49% for Holyfield, 53 for Foreman. Not bad for either of them, quite equal as a matter of fact. And the CompuBox total jabs over a 3-fight average also very close. 25 a round for Holyfield, 20 for Foreman, 12 landed to 10 for Foreman, 48% to Foreman's 50%, and very close all the way around. If stats have anything to do with it, this could be a very close and equal fight.
Well, let's call in our resident judge from the state of Nevada, Cindy Barton, with the rules for this fight, which differ a bit from the undercard fight. Cindy.
Yeah, for this IBF and the New Jersey rules, there's a 10-point must system. There's no standing 8 count this time. This time there's also no 3 knockdown rule. The bell cannot save the fighter in any round, including the 12th, and the doctor can stop the fight.
And Joe, how about the third man in the ring, Rudy Battle? The referee Richard Steele became such a source of controversy with Tyson Ruddock.
Well, Rudy Battle was, of course, has refereed many championship fights, 41 to be exact. He's a very competent referee in the state of New Jersey. But I'm looking at here the third man in the ring for George Foreman's corner, Angelo Dundee, the new addition.
All right, let's go to the ring. And Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Main Events Monitor Productions and Top Rank Incorporated, in association with the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Frank B. Dawkins. This bout is also sanctioned and approved by the World Boxing Association and the International Boxing Federation. The 3 judges at ringside scoring each round on a 10-point must system are Jerry Roth from Nevada, Eugene Grant from New Jersey, and Tommy Kazmarek from New Jersey. And the referee for this bout, working in a world title event for the 45th time from the state of New Jersey, is Rudy Battle. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, 2 very special introductions. 2 former heavyweight champions who faced each other 20 years ago in the battle of undefeated champions. They fought a total of 3 times, culminating with one of the greatest heavyweight matches, the Thrilla in Manila. First of all, let me introduce to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's the former heavyweight champion who always brought one of the most devastating left hooks in boxing history into the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Smoking Joe Frazier. And the man he faced 3 times in those 3 great bouts. In 1960, he was a gold medal champion in the Olympics. 1964, he won the heavyweight title. In 1974, he won it for a 2nd time. And then he became the only man in heavyweight history to win the heavyweight championship 3 times. Ladies and gentlemen, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Donald Trump's Trump Plaza Hotel Casino here on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! It's the battle of the ages. 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks and weighing in at an official weight of 257 pounds. This 1968 Olympic gold medal champion won the heavyweight title in 1973. After a 10-year hiatus, he returned to the ring in 1987, and since then his record has been a perfect 24-0 with 23 KOs. His career record as a professional, 69 victories, 65 KOs, only 2 defeats. 56 of these KOs have come in 4 rounds or less, and he's considered by most experts to be the most devastating puncher in heavyweight history. From Houston, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger and former heavyweight champion of the world, and his opponent in the blue corner wearing the white trunks with multicolored trim, weighed in at an even 208 pounds. He's a member of America's greatest Olympic boxing team, the class of '84. He won a bronze medal that year, and he was the first of that great squad to win a world title as a professional. In only his 12th professional bout, he became a cruiserweight champion. And he is now, in boxing history, the only titleist from that division to step up to the heavyweights and capture that crown also. His overall record as a professional is 25-0 with 21 KOs. More than half of his KO victories have been in 4 rounds or less, and not one heavyweight opponent has made it to the final bell. And for the last 5 years, he's knocked out every opponent he has faced. From Atlanta, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world, the real deal, Evander Holyfield.
Over there. Over the belly button. Okay, gentlemen. You both received your pre-fight instructions in your dressing room. I expect a clean break at all times. Good luck to both of you. Let's touch gloves.
George Foreman has said, "It is my destiny. I'm a miracle." And the fact that he is here bears out most of that to be true. The final chapter is about to be written.
George is laying in his corner. Evander, calm and cool. Both these men seem confident that they're both going to win.
Here we go. Round 1, scheduled for 12. Holyfield exploring with some jabs and working the body, and Foreman has yet to throw a punch. Holyfield, as expected, pressing the action, trying to get a left to the body. Foreman will throw far fewer punches and will cover up with both hands crossed across his face.
He's got a deceptive defense, Len. Crosses those arms, blocks a lot of things. He sees a lot of punches coming. He got under that first big left hook of Holyfield's. Made him miss that one.
Is Holyfield a bit farther away than you expected him to be?
No, this is where he's got to be. He's got to use that speed from the outside here and do exactly that. Pop and go.
What happens to all the talk about him sticking right to George's chest to let George punch himself out?
Well, I don't think that's such a great strategy, to tell you the truth. He's got the speed. Why get in close with George? Has him sitting right in front of him.
Those were quotes from his trainer, Lou Duva.
Yeah, I talked to Lou afterwards, and they kind of changed their story, and they felt it best that Holyfield be on the outside.
George connect with the left. The crowd reacts to anything positive that Foreman does halfway through the first round.
Oh.
And Holyfield with a combination.
Left hook, right hand.
George, the long distance left. Look how he covers up with both hands.
Of course, when he's got his arms crossed like that, Georgie Benton knows he can't punch with his arms crossed. It's purely a defensive position.
Foreman obviously the much slower of the two in ring speed and punching speed. Holyfield trying to use that as an advantage. George with the looping right.
Way off the mark, went right behind and passed it behind Holyfield's head.
Jabbing out of there with the left, Foreman is. And here comes Holyfield. Good left hand by Holyfield.
Good left-right left. He threw 3 quick punches and got out and circled around George. And this is what he's got to do. Can he do it for 12 rounds? I don't know.
Holyfield pressing the action, which gives him the advantage when it comes to the scorecard if all else is even. Well, it's not a farce yet. 1 round complete.
That's your point. That's your point. Now listen. Use the jab a little more, use the jab a little more. When it gets close to you, cut this. You have to cut this hard. Just the last 2 got to be hard.
Keep doing what you do. Keep following. He's reaching for your jab. Okay.
I thought I got to be on my right side. Combinations of this.
Right, safe.
That's what you're going to see all night long is what you just saw.
As you saw, Holyfield sits, Foreman stands. Foreman never sits between rounds, says he doesn't practice that in sparring, so makes things go faster. So he stands, and they told him to try the left hook, Joe.
They told Holyfield also to use that jab. When you do get inside, hit to the body, quick punches, let him go. He said they didn't have to be hard, but let him loose and then get back out.
Good right from Holyfield, and then again a left. Remember, in all of the earlier stories, George Foreman said he would knock him out in the 2nd round. That's the round he took care of Joe Frazier back in '73.
Right now, Holyfield is just really tattooing George Foreman right now. The speed is really telling the tale. Unless George can land something to the body to slow him down a little bit, start hitting him with the jabs, this could be a trend all night long. Georgie Benton told Holyfield, this is what you're going to see all night long. Just him plodding in after you, looking to load up.
And a big swing and a miss from Foreman. That left to the body got through, though.
Now that was a low blow, and let me tell you, Rudy Battle jumped right in and told him, keep him up.
Rudy Battle immediately stopping him and telling him to get the punches up. Now Foreman comes on. During the rules meeting, there was a lot of discussion from the Holyfield camp about low blows and even some elbows thrown by Foreman. It's hard to tell what exactly is a low blow, though, with Foreman. With the high drugs.
He's going to pull halfway up to his chest, that's for sure. But right now, Holyfield is just dominating these first 2 rounds. Oh, and a nice counter right hand out of a crouch.
Good exchange. And Holyfield effectively ducking and crouching. Flexibility paying off there.
Looked like he ran into a little bit of a left hook. Oh!
Foreman on the attack.
You're not kidding. Holyfield looks a little stunned, a little weary. He came back with his own left hook.
Overhand right from Foreman.
Real wide, but 2 good body shots by Foreman. The crowd going nuts here, seeing Foreman score.
The 42-year-old right now beating up the kid the 2nd round. Foreman. And a combination.
This is where Holyfield shouldn't be.
And a wild left by Holyfield. And Holyfield comes in now.
That's his instinct, though, to fight back when he gets hit. He's proven that in all of his past fights. Dokes, Alex Stewart, and everyone else.
And a little fighting after the bell. Separated by Rudy Battle. What a round for Foreman.
The crowd standing on its feet here, Len. Here's where George finally turned around in the second round, set him up with the jab, missed with the right, but came up on the side of the chin with that left uppercut. If that landed flush, Holyfield might have been in trouble. You know this man can hit.
Take another slower look here. The left, missed with the right, and
well, he knocked his head so far back with that jab that he was out of range when he threw the right hand.
Let's see how Holyfield responds after the strong Foreman round, and Holyfield comes out throwing punches.
The CompuBox stats have Foreman landing 50% of his jabs through the first 2 rounds, and Holyfield 34%. Foreman ripped a nice little shot to the midsection.
There's where Foreman pushed off with that forearm on the right hand.
Well, referee Rudy Battle will warn him about it if he starts pushing off too much with the arms and elbows. That's illegal to do it. It's part of Foreman's game plan. It's the way he fights. Oh, another great body shot.
Left to the body from Foreman. Foreman probably winning a round so far, and who would have thought it?
Oh, a lot of people in this audience thought it, and a lot of the boxing experts. A lot of the sports writers favored Holyfield. A lot of the boxing people themselves favored Foreman in this fight. Gave him a big shot. Oh, and he's got Holyfield reeling from a couple shots. But Holyfield comes back strong with his own left hook. Kind of a weak effort with that left hand to the body of Foreman by Holyfield. He looks to be tired himself right now. It's supposed to be Foreman that's tired. Oh, he's got him picking up his leg from that body shot, Len.
Foreman continues to attack effectively. Now Holyfield with the left that connects.
You know, Holyfield's game plan was to stay away and box him, but this guy is Foreman is almost impossible to get away from. For every step you take, he takes 2 in, he's right back on top of you. But he's got to stick to a boxing plan if he wants to win this fight.
And Holyfield does land, but Foreman continues to just shrug off all the blows.
I saw him do it time and time again with his sparring partners, and they said, thank God George Foreman took it easy on us, and he was working with some top-notch sparring. They said it's the hardest guy they've ever been hit by in their lives.
Well, the Holyfield camp wanted Foreman to take some punches and miss them, and they've certainly gotten that as well.
But they didn't want him to land the few that he has landed. They felt that they could get away from mostly all of his punches. There goes Holyfield ripping a great shot to the body. He's got to do more of that. You see how easily Foreman pushes him off of him.
Yeah, looping overhand right again, and a little bit of a mention from Rudy Battle.
That landed on the back of the neck, and that's a rabbit punch, and those are illegal punches. Oh, and rocked Holyfield. Holyfield rocked Foreman.
And connecting, and Holyfield all over Foreman. Foreman trying to hold him off. It's Holyfield now on the attack.
10 seconds left. 10 seconds left in this bout, or in this round.
George is falling forward and hit after the bell by a crisp right. A big finish from Evander Holyfield in the third.
You got him jabbed. Close in on the close to this boy. Get close to him, close to the punches. Give me that. Don't let him out the hook. He heard talk too much.
Left hook. Holyfield. Foreman had that right hand down. Holyfield snuck that left hook over and then just let loose with a barrage of combination punches. Lefts, rights, left and rights. He hit him with everything in the book, and unbelievably, Foreman stayed up. because those were clean shots right on the button. It's a testament to Foreman's great conditioning. But he was wavering in that corner, looked a little wobbly when he went back.
Just about anybody else would go down from this flurry.
Well, just about everybody else has gone down from this type of flurry.
Wow, exciting round 3, and here we go to 4 now. And Foreman sneaks in a left, and Holyfield counters as well, and Holyfield landing lefts. See a smoke out in the distance behind the ring. A smoke bomb went off here in the Atlantic City Convention Center, but not affecting the fighters or those of us here at ringside.
Not yet, but it's creeping its way over.
Coming close.
You can see it in the background on the monitor right there, Len.
He's slowing down just a little bit after the excitement of rounds 2 and 3. Foreman in 2 and Holyfield very big in round 3.
George is not being very accurate with that right hand. He's landing his jabs and a few left hooks.
Tiring a little bit, Joe?
Well, the way Holyfield just grabbed on him looked like he needed a little bit of a rest himself. But, you know, he recuperates quickly and comes back hard, just like that left hook to the body. Yeah, George is looking a little worse for the wear, but when you take punches like that, that takes a few rounds out of your stamina right off the get-go.
George looks to me a little bit tired here, and most experts have said the longer it goes, the more it does favor Holyfield.
Well, if he continues to take this type of barrage of punches in the next couple rounds, it's doubtful that Foreman's going to be able to keep up this pace. It was hard for him to do it when he was a young man. He's 42, 43 years old right now. It's going to be a tall order for Foreman if he doesn't land something.
Another strong right from Evander Holyfield. Minutes ago in round 4. George missing, Holyfield connecting. That's the story here in the 4th. Another combination from Holyfield.
Solid left right inside. The last time George ever went over 10 rounds was in 1977 with Jimmy Young.
From the latter stages of round 3, George has been a large punching bag.
I should say the last and only time. But he did go 10 rounds in one of his comeback fights that went to a decision with Everett Bigfoot Martin early in his comeback.
Oh, another strong combination. Foreman's shining moment was round 2.
Holyfield's just
from
starting
the
to tee
latter
off
stages of round 3 on, it's been all Evander Holyfield. George, a bit of a low punch in there as well with his flurry, trying to cover up. Final seconds of the 4th round, another strong one for the champion. That's it for round 4. I noticed they did bring a stool out for George, and he puts a leg up to stand on the stool. He won't sit on it, but now at least one leg up. Let's go to our judge, Cindy Barton, see how she scored it thus far. Cindy?
Lynn, I have it right now 38-37 for Holyfield, but I must say that's been a superior performance for Foreman here. He has, the one thing that Holyfield has found out is that he cannot stand in front of Foreman. He's definitely going to get hurt if he does that.
It's all yours, just don't reach for it.
I think they had your 3rd round reversed there, Cindy. We'll check it out as we take a look at the replay.
He's definitely going to get hurt if he does that.
It's all yours, just don't reach for it.
I think they had your 3rd round reversed there, Cindy. We'll check it out as we take a look at the replay.
Here's, well, that we caught the tail end of that. But I was listening in on the Foreman's corner. Charlie Scheib said, keep in a defensive posture until you get in close, then open up. Angelo Dundee told him not to reach with his punches, and that's what he's getting caught with his hands down reaching. And Foreman looks quite weary right now.
Here we go in round 5. Last 2 strong ones for Evander Holyfield. And he continues to press the attack and hit George pretty much at will. And George has not really landed anything in the last 2 rounds, Joe. And another one from Holyfield. Another right left from the champion.
Left uppercut, right hand. It was grazing, but it still landed.
People always talk in terms of the puncher's chance. I mean, is Foreman, doesn't that chance diminish the longer we go?
It sure has, because his punches look slower and slower just after these few rounds.
Another low blow warning from Rudy Battle. No point has been deducted, but his second warning.
Well, he's fighting. Well, I'll tell you what, that left hook to the body of Holyfield doubled him up, made him pick his leg up, and you heard him grunt. So he's still got a lot of snap in his punch. They just aren't coming real quickly.
Well, a couple of effective body blows from Foreman here in the 5th round.
That's what he's got to do, George. He's got to hit that body to slow Holyfield down. He's got a lot of speed going for him right now.
Another one of those lulls. I've noticed every so often the 5th round was critical for Holyfield when he got rocked by Alex Stewart. Sometimes Holyfield lulls, and this is the time of the fight he does that.
Well, he's such a busy guy. He's on his toes. He's moving. For a big man, that's hard to do. That's how he takes his rest. He backs up for a minute.
Right.
Catches his composure, and then comes back to fight some more.
He just took a 40-second timeout, Holyfield did, and he's come back. As we near a minute to go in round 5.
This is where Foreman's got to go to work here. When Holyfield's taking that rest, you're right.
Holyfield gets another left in there. George missing with the left. George missing with that looping right. But another low left. Through with the left. Foreman connected.
Got to give Foreman credit for coming back like he is right now. He looked like a
doing it with
man
the left
round.
Everyone talked about his right hand. He's gotten some good lefts to the chin. And Foreman with another combination.
A lot of those glancing off of Holyfield, but a few of them getting by and really stunning Holyfield.
And Foreman coming on strong in the 5th round when he looked like perhaps he was lulling Holyfield into thinking that he was in trouble.
Exactly, exactly. And this...
When the guy hits you with one punch, don't stay there, move. You understand? So you stay there for the next punch. Right? Now don't let him hit you with those punches. Those punches take their toll on you.
Here we see Foreman reaching with that left uppercut, backing up with the jab, short right hand, right off the temple. Bingo again, right off the temple, and those are the punches that can slow a guy like Holyfield down. He needs to land more of those. Here it is from a different angle, right hand right on the chin. They don't look like they're coming fast or hard, but they hurt. Foreman's a big man. Another one right off the air.
There's that quick chopping right hand.
And you see the face of Holyfield squinting from pain. Well, like you said, he hits hard.
Duvaskamp kept saying, well, George telegraphs that right. Well, if he does, Holyfield didn't see it coming. George's response to that is, yes, I telegraphed, but the message gets through.
It did there. He was very short with his right hand the first few rounds, but going into the 6th round here, he's starting to land it as of the last round.
Round 6.
Well, this fight's turned out like a lot of people thought it would. It turned out to be a fight and not a one-sided affair.
Oh, strong right from Holyfield.
Countered Holyfield's jab, countered Foreman's jab perfectly.
And a left from Holyfield.
Then went back down to the body.
And Foreman comes back. Back and forth action here. And a left from Holyfield.
And right hand down again from Foreman. There it is again. He's got to get that right hand up next to his face. He's got to block that.
Pushes it up with the elbow. He tries to deflect it off.
Right, but it's not working for him. Holyfield slipping that left hook in right over the low glove of George Foreman.
And Holyfield covering up here.
Well, it's got to be dejecting Holyfield. He's hitting Foreman with everything in the book, and he's still coming.
And you know, Holyfield's strategy has worked. George has thrown a lot of punches here, but it hasn't worked to the effect that he wanted it to.
But you notice in the CompuBox statistics, Foreman and Holyfield throw about the same amount of punches per round and jabs per round.
Oh, strong left to the body from Holyfield. And George comes right back again. It's like one of those punching bags, those plastic ones that
Keep
bounce
coming right back up at you. But the thing is that those are filled with air. Foreman's filled with solid 257 pounds of beef.
Foreman certainly answered most of the critics of his stamina. Inside of a minute to go in round 6.
Halfway through the fight right now.
George just keeps on coming. And a left-hand jab from Foreman.
Looks like Holyfield's getting a little bit of a second wind. He's got that good bounce. His punches look quick again. Punching sharp. Got caught with a short little left hook right there that didn't do any justice.
Fairly even rounds here in the 6th.
And another one that wobbled him a little bit.
George misses with the round right, but enough of them have gotten through.
Just when you think George is fading, he comes right back. Both of them.
And the same for Holyfield.
What a tug of war.
And the body shots from Holyfield as round 6 comes to a close.
Real good, going your way. Wait till you get close enough. That's what you're doing before you do anything. Now, when he's bringing the George, he gives you a little right uppercut. You can't reach with it. You just gotta take what you can. Good. Take that little left uppercut.
CompuBox statistics, Joe.
Well, here you've got Foreman just a little bit behind Holyfield as far as punches thrown, but landed quite a few less, only 100 to 158. But the percentages are pretty darn close, 54 to 40.
And over in Foreman's corner, he's receiving those instructions, by the way, from Charlie Shipes. Even though people like Angelo Dundee and Archie Moore have worked with him, Shipes is the man he listens to while he stands in his corner.
Shipes is the man behind the scene.
Round 7. As we start the second half of this 12-round fight.
And again, Charlie Shipes reiterating to George Foreman. He says, keep in that defensive shell till you get inside, then go to work. You saw Foreman just reaching there and almost paid the price. Oh! I think he just knocked him off balance. I don't know if he hurt him. But his legs look unsteady right now. Holyfield looking a little wobbly.
And the crowd reacting to everything that Foreman does positively.
Oh!
More punches from Foreman, and Holyfield absorbs it in the middle of the ring. And Foreman on the attack in the 7th round.
But watch him come back.
Holyfield taking that little bit of a rest we talked about, and let's see if he gathers himself and comes back.
You can see he was poising himself to come back with a few hard shots, catching George with his hands down.
Holyfield has done it time and again against Michael Dokes and Alex Stewart. He'll take it, and all of a sudden he comes on.
Right, and he's making George waste a lot of punches. Instead of clinching, he's blocking punches. He's letting George throw punches and miss them. A lot of bouncing off the gloves of Holyfield as he lands.
And now Holyfield coming on, and a strong left from Holyfield against Foreman. And a right, and Holyfield landing inside. What punch after another. He's got Foreman wobbly.
But George
still standing.
George blocking a lot of those himself, a lot landing. What an amazing man this guy is. What an amazing person. Wow.
And what a round.
Oh, and he lands
Foreman comes back.
Right hand on Holyfield's head.
This may be the round they talk about in years to come for both men.
He's coming back with
and Foreman coming back at Holyfield.
People were discounting George Foreman as merely a fake and a fraud in this fight. He's proven, I hope nobody ever says that again about him. He's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt he is for real.
And Holyfield a bit low there, but Foreman taking everything that Holyfield's throwing and coming back at him.
Oh, another great left hook by Holyfield. This round is going to go down as one of the greatest all-time rounds in boxing. No doubt about it. Just for the sheer fact that Foreman's still here, but the way he's trading back and forth with Holyfield is unbelievable.
And I can't tell you how incredibly entertaining this is in the latter stages of a 7th round that have gone back and forth where they've rocked each other.
Well, from the $100 seats to the $1,000 seats, people are getting their money's worth tonight.
Final 10 seconds of perhaps a historic round in the annals of heavyweight boxing. And Holyfield coming on strong again. What a round.
What you got to do is step around him with the jab. You understand? Hey, listen. Now just step around him with the jab and punch him. Hey, now look, don't get hit with no crazy punches. You don't have to. Look.
Right him somewhere in the middle. On elbows.
Here we go. We got a replay of that last round. Holyfield taking that right hand, getting rocked, left, right, uppercut, right hand. There's Foreman landing that. Here's another shot. Second time, or this different angle. Right hand, right on the beam. And here's Holyfield coming back. Right uppercut, left hook, right hand to the chin, back to the belly, over the top, right uppercut, blazing punches, and Foreman riding it out. Here it is. Holyfield again on the attack, body, head. Boy, what a round.
What you heard in the background between rounds, the crowd in unison chanting George, George, George.
The viewers
round 8.
The viewers at home have to be chanting that. Amazing fight. Holyfield really has fought a brilliant fight tonight, considering how well-conditioned Foreman is. If Foreman wasn't in such great shape, you could dismiss it as just another...
What does a guy like Holyfield say to himself when he knows what he delivered in the last round and George didn't go down?
Well, he's got to not get discouraged with himself. He's just got to stick to his game plan. They said they would do it for 12 rounds if need be, and he is.
Of course, should it go to a decision, people feel, well, the edge will tilt towards the champion in these matters, Holyfield.
Well, he is the busier fighter right now. George has had his moments, but I think overall, Evander's been in control tonight.
But also from the standpoint of being the champion and having to have it taken away from you.
Well, I don't necessarily buy that. I feel if a man wins a fight, he wins it. If he loses it, he loses it, whether he's champ or not.
But you know what happens in the annals of boxing. And here comes Holyfield coming forward. Obviously, the 8th round can't live up to what happened just one round before. And a left from Holyfield.
You know, it's funny because nobody really gave George credit or thought he'd be able to take it this far. The judges might be impressed with this. I'm wondering myself if they might be even leaning towards George in some of these rounds because he's been hanging so tough and doing his own scoring.
It's possible. We'll check with our resident judge, Cindy Barton, between rounds and ask her opinion if she is swayed in that regard. Final minute of round 8.
We certainly have an expert to refer to.
Oh, a strong right from Holyfield.
Boy, Foreman hesitated with his right hand and caught a counter right hand by Holyfield.
Another right from Evander and a left. Holyfield has to be asking himself, what do I have to do?
Well, George has abandoned that jab. When Holyfield backs off him, he should be putting that jab out and trying to score something.
George reacting to the feints of Holyfield and then catching a couple of punches. And Rudy Battle mentioning to Foreman about the elbow, which we alluded to earlier.
Oh! Caught Evander with a left hook moving over to George's left side.
A solid round for Evander Holyfield in round number 8. Many of those viewers who called in, I don't think anyone thought it would go past this distance. Then we have a bunch of zeros up on the board for the 9th through 12th rounds, but we've finished 8 complete. And let's check out Cindy's scorecard. Cindy, what do you have?
Well, I have it dead even. It's the most incredible fight I think I've seen in years, especially for a heavyweight fight.
It's a 4-round fight, baby.
As far as the fight lasting so long, I can't see it swaying the judges one way or another, because just like what you said, doesn't matter if Evander's the champion or not. I've worked with these guys many times, and they're top-notch judges.
So they won't be swayed by the fact that so much better than expected in his last adherence in the 9th round, Cindy.
No, I really don't think so.
Round 9.
The rarefied air of round 9 in the Foreman-Holyfield fight.
Pernell Whitaker and Mark Breland behind us yelling to Evander Holyfield, it's a 4-round fight. It's a 4-round fight, meaning he's only got 4 left.
And Holyfield has come out landing at the beginning of the 9th. That 7th was really something. But don't discount what Foreman did in round 2.
There's no question that Evander Holyfield has got one of the best chins in boxing.
Quick left, crowd reacted as Holyfield went back. And here comes Foreman in on the ropes. And Holyfield hangs on, taking a brief respite.
George going back to that jab, which he needs to do if he wants to get back into this fight big time. Or if he wants to win it, he's got to get busier.
Holyfield taking another one of those little timeouts of his.
Both hands are free.
Remember, almost all of Holyfield's knockouts have come early. Only 2 past the 8th round. And now Holyfield on the attack in round 9. George trying to corner him, can't do it. Holyfield moves away. The Holyfield supporters behind us crying out for lateral movement on the part of Evander. Not much movement of any kind here.
George has really slowed down this round. He's if he wants to get into this fight and take the crown from Evander Holyfield, he's going to have to step it up. Because right now, Evander Holyfield has his number.
3 more strong blows landed by Evander Holyfield. Foreman takes it and comes back for more. The resiliency of George Foreman is a major story here tonight. Holyfield lands another right. You went on punches landed. There would be no contest.
It's amazing, really, that both fighters aren't more marked up around the eyes and
Absolutely.
mouth, because they've both taken some tremendous heavyweight shots. Well, he made
And another, that's the 3rd time that Rudy Battle says something to Foreman about the low blows.
Well, they're borderline. They aren't real flagrant low blows, so he's warning them instead of taking a point.
Another quick combination from Holyfield.
2 pulls of right hand rock Foreman. He's out on
Foreman
right now.
in trouble. Foreman, you cannot be saved by the bell. And Holyfield is all over Foreman. There's the bell, and Foreman stands and walks back to his corner.
I think it's time for George Foreman to sit on that stool. Take a load off his feet.
That's why we separate the man from the boy.
Beautiful flurry at the end here. Counters over the jab with the right hand. Left hook, back with the right hand. How Foreman's holding himself up, I'll never know. Bang, right hand, 2 right hands over the ear. He just hit him with everything in the book. Right hand right over his jab. Foreman automatically drops his hands, and he's a sitting duck here for Holyfield's combinations now. Boy, there it is, square on the chin. And those tight that you don't see are the ones that really rock you.
Joe, while you were watching the replays, referee Rudy Battle walked over and George Foreman asked, "Are you okay?" Foreman said yes. During that timeout, Foreman went over and intentionally talked to Angelo Dundee. And here comes George one more time to start the 10th round.
Well,
after nearly being knocked out at the end of round 9.
He looks like he's on weak legs right now, but he's determined to stay in this fight and not get knocked out. It's evident.
You start to think in terms of moral victories at this point, Joe?
Well, at this point, yes, definitely for George Foreman. Nobody ever gave him this much credit that he did to be able to come this far with the punishment he's taken.
Timeout called. I think they want to wrap Evander.
Well,
Put some tape on there.
There's tape on the left glove that's loose of Evander Holyfield. And Foreman was sent to a neutral corner to tape it up.
That certainly favors Foreman being able to take a little extra rest here. But the thing is that they're taking this timeout for about 1.5 inches of tape hanging off the glove, and they're concerned with that. And here Holyfield's taking all sorts of, or Foreman's taking all sorts of punches.
The clock is supposed to stop when that happens. Foreman continues to fight. And Holyfield continues to land.
Holyfield's hand speed has really been the difference in this fight.
And another left from Holyfield, and 2 more. And you see Holyfield on fresh legs, still dancing. And George with that plodding style, and weakened a bit at the end of the 9th. You talked about the speed telling a difference. Age, will you now grant that to Holyfield at this point in round 10?
Well, you know, George Foreman had a lot more bounce and a lot more speed 10 years ago. The age has obviously caught up with him, but still, he's got enough to hang tough to the undisputed champ of the world. Oh, another.
And they trade punches. Punch for punch. And Holyfield landed a strong right at the end of that flurry. And Foreman lands a combination.
He landed a strict 1-2, but it looks like it's going to take more than a couple shots to hurt Holyfield. Throughout this fight, George has landed 1 or 2 at a time. It's going to take more than that.
And the crowd comes alive as George landed a few as the 2 of them wrestle in center ring. And Holyfield lands some more.
Oh, the jab looked like a right hand from Foreman.
And Holyfield comes right back.
Well, right now it looks like Holyfield is the one who's tiring out in this 10th round. Of course, he's thrown a lot more punches than George, but then again, George has taken quite a bit of punishment. It's amazing he's got this much stamina.
The crowd booing when the 2 of them take those breathers up against each other. Foreman missing with the left. Remember what happened in the final 10 seconds of the 9th round? Well, we're in the same territory here in round 10. And that's it.
George really starting to swell up around the eyes now.
And let's check out Cindy Barton's scorecard. Cindy, how's it going now?
Okay, Lynn, I have Holyfield winning right now, 96-94. But I have to say, I think for any of us officials, it'll probably be one of the most difficult fights that we'd ever have to score. Every round has been power-packed, but I believe that the speed is more right now with Holyfield than in Foreman.
And as we approach the 11th round scheduled for 12, keep in mind, Holyfield hasn't gone the distance in 5 years.
Well, there goes Holyfield again, countering that slow jab of Foreman's right over the top. That's been the most telling punch for Holyfield this evening. Counter right hand over the jab.
George has continued to stand in his corner between every round, and we've reached 11.
Well, Holyfield landed 21 of 25 jabs in that round for 84 percentile of connect percentage.
And now he is deducting 1 point for the low blow. Rudy Battle, he had warned him 3 times and deducted the point there in the 11th.
The judges have it scored as closely as Cindy thinks they do. That point could be a big factor.
Absolutely. If this is a close fight, that low blow point deducted could be the deciding.
There's that counter right hand off of Foreman's right hand. But Holyfield follows right up with that left hook.
But Holyfield's got to win the round to make that point count. A 10-8 would look huge. Not so a 9-9. We've had no knockdowns. 1 point deducted from George Foreman for a low blow here in the 11th round. No cuts and no visible scars on either man.
No, but we have seen George Foreman rocked in 2 or 3 different rounds where we didn't think he was going to get. We didn't think he was going to be able to make it through the round.
And now Holyfield hanging on.
Both of them narrowly missed with right hands.
Obviously, the fatigue factor you would think would affect the older man a lot more, but it's affected both of them, Joe.
The crowd booing. They don't like the fact that the younger man Holyfield's holding on here in this situation. He's grabbing George around the waist.
Those boos are directed at Holyfield.
George is really unable to pull the trigger. He gets close enough. He sees what he wants to do. He just can't pull the trigger on his punches right now.
And Holyfield scores on a combination of 3. Foreman tries to come back, but I don't think those punches have much, Joe.
No, the jabs look decent, but the right hand was real sloppy and real wide.
Little left pushed Holyfield back. Or holding on. I'm not sure Holyfield has taken full advantage of that point he's getting this round. But he still has landed more punches than Foreman has here in the 11th.
He really has been out hustling George in this round.
That was a strong left from Holyfield. George trying to cover up, and Holyfield landed. And another strong right, and a left from Holyfield. And one to the body from Holyfield. Another strong right from the champion. What's the line about weebles wobble, but they don't fall down?
Well, let me tell you something right now. George Foreman is coming back with his own body shots after taking those dynamite right hands to the head. Unbelievable.
And that does it for the 11th round, and it brings the crowd to its feet one more time.
Clear-cut round for Holyfield.
Use that jab. Don't get careless, you understand? The last round. You're winning the fight, Evander. Now look, Holyfield.
And again, the chant of George from the crowd in Atlantic City.
Angelo Dundee chewing Rudy battle out for taking that point.
You understand? We touched it up. Now, Holyfield, have your hands up good and high, be alert. Because this guy, this is the last round.
Breathe in. Come on, breathe.
All right, Cindy Barton, starting the 12th and final round. What is your score, Cindy?
I have 106 for Holyfield and 102 for Foreman.
And Foreman said something to it. As you mentioned, Angelo Dundee was all over Rudy Battle between rounds for taking that point away.
And in the other corner, Georgie Benton and Lou Duva says, don't get stupid, don't get careless, box and keep your hands up. Foreman's got to knock him out to win this fight.
So they said Foreman had a puncher's chance. Well, he needs that punch here in the 12th round from our estimation to win this fight. But he certainly had his moments along the way.
Ran into a right hand trying to land that big punch too.
Holyfield basically has to stay away from one big bomb, but he lands a right.
Well, Holyfield's doing what his corner asked him to do, basically, and that's the move. But he shouldn't be punching as much as Lou Duva doesn't want him punching this much, but he sees Foreman as a target, and he's going for it anyway.
And Archie Moore just stood up in George's corner and said, go at him, punch. Gave him the fist sign. Archie, of course, was the oldest to fight as a challenger for the heavyweight title. And George has 95 seconds left to try to punch him out and regain that championship, which he lost 17 years ago.
Holyfield stuck to his game plan that Georgie Benton and Lou Duva laid out for him, and he's done it quite well. Boxed, encircled, kept George off balance, and stayed away from those big bombs.
If it goes to a decision and if Holyfield wins it to retain the title, I still marvel at what George Foreman was able to accomplish here tonight. Inside of a minute, doesn't look like George can muster that last punch. And Holyfield comes on strong with a combination, and George still takes it.
He's got a minute left. Minute left to prove that he can still pack that punch in and win this heavyweight title, but it looks like a pretty futile effort.
And Holyfield again hanging on. He has been through a battle, and Holyfield doesn't want to let go, and Rudy Battle
could take a point away.
Pushes him away. And after that rest, Holyfield tries to come on. A timeout in the middle of the 12th round staged there by Holyfield with 15 seconds to go in the fight.
That's it. Both hands.
The old man has gone the distance, and the crowd at the Atlantic City Convention Center comes to its feet to applaud that.
That's all we want. Great fight. Great fight, George. Great fight. Great fight. Great opportunity. He won. Absolutely. Great fight, baby. Great fight. You fought a great fight out there. The box, we got a box out there, baby. Come on. Congratulations. All right. Let's get everybody. Just get some water. Breathe in. Wait a minute.
And now we'll go to the judges' scorecards. Cindy Barton's card had Holyfield comfortably ahead, but we'll see what the three judges who count have it here at ringside.
George, come on with the roll.
Cindy, your final card.
My final card is 116 for Holyfield and 111 for Foreman. An incredible fight.
And you gave Foreman that dramatic 7th round, which I think people will be talking about for quite a long time.
Oh, forever. Best round I've ever seen in boxing.
Well, everyone had a prediction, and few painted this scenario of a 12-round decision for Evander Holyfield with such dramatics in between. Holyfield with a big 3rd round. The 7th round went back and forth, just dramatic. The 11th round, a point deducted for low blows by referee Rudy Battle after 3 earlier warnings in the fight. And we'll take a look at the final CompuBox. We expected Holyfield to throw more punches, but that total of 444 from Foreman was quite good. You see Holyfield's percentage, and that's why, by all rights, he should win the decision, 61%. And it was quite a show. You know, we're all kind of had our fingers crossed when we said fight or farce, and it's certainly all those people who said that it was too dangerous for Foreman and the fight would turn out to be a farce. Well, they were all wrong, and they certainly have a lot to be proud about in George Foreman and the fight he carried on here tonight. What a show, particularly that 7th round. Typical crowd in the ring. Neither man was cut. As you see, they are working on welts to try to get them to go down. George looks good possible for the post-fight interview. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the decision.
Scoring, let's have a round of applause for these two heavyweights. 12 rounds of exciting action. Nobody thought they'd do it. And now from the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino here in Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Eugene Grant scores the bout 116 to 111. Tommy Kazmarek has it 115 to 112. And Jerry Roth scores it 117 to 100 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the real deal, Evander Holyfield.
But how about that little wink and smile from George Foreman when he realized Holyfield was the winner? Foreman, it's trite to say, but Foreman was a winner in many respects here tonight as well. The last cheer for Foreman. His career is certainly not over. We will continue to hear from George, I'm pretty sure anyway. And Evander Holyfield stretches his undefeated record to 26-0 now. And George drops to 69-3. And his first loss in the comeback, now 24-1. But